Okay, so good afternoon. We have with us, excuse me, today, Reiko or Rico.
It pronounced Rayco as opposed to Reiko. Japanese there's no R or L.
Okay.
So here you go.
So people call you what?
Rayco, Reiko.
Reiko.
Yes.
Okay, so Reiko Yamamoto, which is a Japanese name.
Yes.
And she's with Cyberhedz Media. So Cyberhedz Media, I understand, is a web design company.
Yes.
Also branding and designing.
Yes.
Great. So that's a very common profession, I would say, web designer. But now you're going to tell us what differentiates you from the others, because there are thousands and thousands of web designers out there.
All right.
So cyber means for the internet, correct?
Right. I got this domain name quite a long time ago while I was at Hasbro Interactive,
Okay.
one of the biggest toy companies.
Okay.
Their headquarters is actually near Boston.
Okay.
Right. So what happened was I was looking for domain names, and then all of a sudden I thought, oh, okay, so maybe Cyberhedz could be, somehow it sounded like a web design company.
Okay.
And then I put my
Media.
company name.
You put
So yeah, I
media.
put media. It's because someone told me that, oh, Cyberhedz sounded like a adult film, company.
Okay.
Anyway,
So that's how you
So I-
decided on it?
yes,
How long
Cyberhedz
have you
Media.
had that name?
About 20 years, actually.
That's a long time.
Right? Also, I look like 20 years old.
No, but I
I'm
mean, you
just
started 20 years ago. I mean, you've been doing it continuously for 20 years?
Yes,
Oh my God.
I know.
So you're an expert.
Kind of, yeah.
Do you update yourself with those new software where things slides up and down?
Right. There
Like
is.
you do this and it goes up and down. You see those software?
Right. So
What is it called?
there are a lot of different kinds
Okay.
of tools you
Yeah.
can use,
Yeah.
and trends actually shift based on what one of those big companies would decide, like Intel or Apple or Facebook. Or, for instance, we used to use something called Flash, which is an Adobe tool to make animate things, everything. But since Apple decided that they didn't include Flash plug-ins on their any devices, most famously iPhone device, a mobile device. So we needed to create everything in JavaScript instead of using any tools. So which means you require coding skill to do web design.
Okay. So you code.
I could, but I'm not really a good coder. I mean,
So what do you do?
well, for some reason, I understand most of everything by just looking at. For instance, I learned how to code in Unix. I learned Unix command by just looking at or just reading some articles. So I can code, but I'm not a coder. In other words, the coders, they can create everything from the scratch for anything they were requested by the businesses or the designers. But I have hard time creating everything from the scratch. I can actually edit, and I understand how to change, but somehow I'm not I'm not a coder. I'm a designer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you're a designer, that means you take the idea of the client And you kind of put it on a piece of paper first, or you have a tool to design it first?
Right. So it used to be, so everything had become digital, right?
Yeah.
So we do everything digitally. For
Okay.
instance, TV show used to be everything analog,
Yeah.
and now it's digital. So the flip side of becoming digital is that you get data simultaneously.
Okay.
In other words, if you create a design,
Yeah.
you get how well or how badly they were
Before.
right. So they were accepted by the users or the
Okay.
audience. So you get that data simultaneously, meaning that you can't just create or build anything out of no data. In other words, so nowadays the designers would do research, and nothing but research, quantitative or qualitative research, the boss actually. Before they design, and then synthesize the data, and then create the design.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the process before you start putting the website to be actually together, the process to visualize it and to prepare it takes probably longer than to actually put it out there.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So, so Stanford Design School. I mean, by the way, the Stanford University has a design school.
Right.
Did you know?
Yeah.
They came up with things called design thinking.
Okay.
Have you heard of design thinking?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's a tool also.
It's not a tool. It's a process.
Oh, it's a process of before you design it.
Or whole thing, end-to-end kind of design process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in other words, it's not the time you spend or effort you spend, but how well you synthesize data, the research into the design.
Okay, but like if I understand well, the big corporation, they have a new website almost every year because they want the most modern look, the most updated look. They don't want to look like an antiquated kind of website, so they refresh it. So they bring in the new tools in it, they make it faster, more efficient, better navigation. I mean, I don't know what's the word for it, but they make it so that it's more and more efficient. And that's why they need a new website every year. So let's say they have a website dated 2016 or 2017, now it's 2018. They say, well, it's time to look what's new out there and let's do something people love to navigate, make it easier for the interface with the clients, make it an easy checkout like Amazon is super easy, well designed. So they want the most efficient design out there. They don't want just something from a template, correct?
You can say that, but the trend of web development, not necessarily just design, is the speed. Actually, I work as a user experience designer, which means we design somehow product or services for the users to make their life easier or remove their pain points.
Okay.
But in order for us to do so, the speed of loading time is the
most important?
Most important things.
Ah, you don't want that website to sit there for a minute before you can see it, right?
Right.
So it has to be instant.
Instantaneously.
So you got to learn those newest tools for that.
Right. So that tool you were talking about is almost always open source.
Open source. And you can access it online.
Yeah, you can actually download and install it.
Yeah.
But somehow customizing it is quite a different story. For instance, there are a couple of very very popular frameworks, which is React and Angular. Have you heard of those? Those are the two of the most popular frameworks.
Okay.
Angular is used by Google, and React is by Facebook.
Okay.
And and then they usually combine with a front-end framework called Twitter Bootstrap.
Oh. Bootstrap.
Bootstrap, yes.
Yeah.
So with those frameworks, you can actually create any website without any designers.
Oh, they have this all already there. You can access it and fill it in the blanks, kind of thing.
Right, but then because they're all engineers,
Yeah.
they have better somehow memory system, or I mean, their brain actually, their capacity of remembering, the functionalities could be a little better than most of regular people. So they put too many things almost all the time. So we come in and they say, "Oh, you should simplify."
Oh,
So
to make it faster to access,
right,
like
exactly.
Google.com. Boom, just a bar.
Right? Yeah. So that's what we design nowadays.
Same with Amazon. Boom, you
Right.
can see it instantly.
Yes.
Do they pay millions of dollars to make it so fast? Amazon.
Amazon is a different story.
Oh,
Amazon
it's
has
e-commerce.
right. So Amazon has a cloud server,
Ah,
AWS.
yes.
So what they do is they cache. In other words, how do I say it? Do you know cache?
You can have several users at the same time, and they will go on different websites, replicated websites.
No, actually, they cache, meaning they store most of the information
yeah.
onto
The cloud.
No, actually, the user's browser
Okay.
storage, and at the same time, they use CDN. A lot of data is coming from CDN. I mean, in other words, the server, their data and media or any content will be stored, and then commonly used data will be streamlined onto the user's browser.
Mm.
So that's how they make it very, very quick.
Mm. So millions of people go on the website from all over the place, so the world, and they can still make it fast.
Right, it's because their cloud server is located in different states, right? Different regions, maybe. And when they detect the user is in Asia, for instance, they will maybe use CDN or the storage.
Oh, they can detect where it comes from.
Yeah. So then they will just use a cloud server near Asia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to someone a little bit lower than Amazon, like you. You did your own website, I assume.
Right. So my website needs to be a little updated. I have
How old is it? 2015.
Exactly. So my most recent one is under REITECH.co.
What year?
This year.
Oh,
I
okay.
did this
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
2017.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
18.
Yeah, you did it. That's recently.
Very recently, yes.
Okay, super fast then.
Right. So I used to use the WordPress or Drupal or those kind of CMS.
Oh yeah. I use WordPress for all about professions.
Right, but they are kind of slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't use any of those.
So what do you use?
Oh, I was trying to use Moon.js or
Moon, M-O-N?
Jaco is a static CMS.
Moon
tool.
is a platform. Moon.js.
That's also a framework.
Oh, it's a framework, but there is some new companies now that are coming up where you can design your own website. Are they fast?
Yeah, it's depending on how they do it. Like I mentioned previously, if the company you are using, the web builder,
New companies came after WordPress. Those are faster than WordPress.
oh,
Well, for you had Weebly and you had Wix, but there's a new one that came up. I forgot the name of it, but is that one really good? I heard it's startup something. It's a it has the word startup something, and you do your own website.
right.
These are these fast?
Possibly, but then it depending on the server you're using
Oh,
and
okay.
what they are doing, or if like I mentioned previously, if they have a CDN, extensive CDN, meaning that they store the commonly used files, and then so load from there instead of requesting the file from the server.
Okay. What's so YouTube is pretty fast to your opinion? Because I put YouTube videos on my website. Those are fast.
Right.
So,
YouTube.
Yeah, I
Yes.
put the show on YouTube, on Vimeo, on Dailymotion, but the one I put on my website is a link to YouTube. Isn't that the fastest one?
Oh, well, Vimeo does the same thing.
Yes, for long videos.
Right, right. So what, YouTube revolutionized video was that
Yes.
they indexed visuals as well as audio.
Okay.
So everything had become searchable, right?
Yeah, in 2008 they started.
Right.
So they're almost 10 years now.
Right. So YouTube, I
Yeah.
don't know how YouTube does that, but if
They have huge servers because videos take a lot of space.
right, right. So I used to work for this company in Mountain View where the YouTube engineers started.
Okay.
So YouTube isn't actually just for the speed or just video viewing,
Okay.
but YouTube, I mean, I don't know, they haven't been so successful, but YouTube has been trying to monetize
The videos.
the videos
Yeah.
by indexing everything.
Yeah, they started doing that now, everything.
Right. So if you have access to their back end,
Yes.
you can actually see where your user
Or.
watched the most
Ah.
and then where they
Stopped watching.
watching. Yes.
You can do an analytics.
Right, exactly. So that's what Netflix is good about, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Netflix also is pretty fast.
Netflix, yes. They're all using AWS, Amazon cloud server.
Oh,
That's why
they're using Amazon servers?
yes,
Okay.
that's why they are so quick.
Do you have videos on your website?
I do have some video I have done.
You put links.
Right, links. But then I don't have too many videos on my website.
Because it's mostly for information, for people to contact you.
Right, but at the same time, I can do video, but then my video kind of...
You can expand it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, more like a secondary skills for me.
What is the name of your YouTube channel? Cyberhedz Media?
It's under my name, Reiko
It's under your
Yamamoto.
name? Okay. It's under Reiko Yamamoto?
Yes.
So we can see a few of your video there?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on your videos, you tell people what your business is about, or it's mostly personal videos?
Right, I have a mixture of different kind of video. I uploaded to Vimeo and YouTube.
Yeah.
So I used to work for a video games company online, and I did some tutorial video for them.
Yeah.
And I also did some short film. Sorry, documentary and narrative shorts.
Yeah.
And I screened at film festivals actually.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I know.
You did a documentary
documentary as well as
about what?
The story about the dog walker in the Bay Area.
Oh,
where,
nice.
Yeah, she can make money and make living.
Walking dogs.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite fascinating.
So you showed her on your documentary.
Yes.
Okay. Are you interested in dogs? You have dogs?
I do have some interest, but somehow I'm living in a small apartment and they're
So
not
it's hard.
really allowed. Yeah, it's hard for dogs.
But you
as
like
well.
that story about the dog walker, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
It was very fascinating. You know, how come someone can make living out of
Walking dogs.
Yes,
I see people walk dogs all the time because the owners are at work.
I know. Yeah,
So it's a big business now.
it is. Yes.
Like K9, it's a company where they just dog sit dogs all day, and then the owners come pick up their dogs at 6. So they have like playtime for the dogs. They feed them, they walk them. It's just like babysitting, but for dogs.
Exactly. So my friend who was in this documentary film,
Okay. So she
she
dog sit.
right. So
She
her
don't just walk them. She also dog sit.
dog sat and a house sit with
Oh,
the
wow.
dog.
Wow.
And one of her clients took her to their vacation
Wow.
to watch
With her.
Yeah, watch their dogs.
Lucky girl, lucky girl. So she's getting a vacation and a job at the same time.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
That is
It's a good job to get then.
I know.
I want to be a dog walker when I grow up.
If you really like the dogs, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I like them, but not for very long. I mean, I like them, but sometimes you have to wake up super early in the morning or late at night. So there's the plus and minuses of dog walking.
Right. Yeah.
It depends how small the dog is. Some dogs can hold it all night, and some they need every 4 hours. So they're all different. It depends how small or big the dog is. And also, what's good when you have dogs, like you said, it's good to have a yard, so you don't have to walk them yourself all the time. You just put them in the yard, and it makes life easier for everybody.
Yeah, so that's my documentary film. Well, the other two short films are narrative short. I actually made a film out of some ideas I had. It was about a documentary filmmaker making a film about sex workers on Broadway in North Beach.
My goodness. You interviewed them?
No, actually, this is a narrative short. I wrote a story.
Oh, a story, okay.
Yes.
So it's a fiction.
Right. So what happened was around the time, a lot of TV shows or the films are showing the women, like for instance, Demi Moore. She had a strip or something. Can't remember.
Yeah, I remember the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And a kind of glamorized the fact women can be doing this and then make money at the same time. They can be happy, or mother, or. But then if you
there's a two sides in their life.
If we as women, want to do this to work as a sex worker for money, there's some other mean to make money instead.
Like design web.
Exactly.
That's why you decided to do that instead.
Yes.
That's a better solution for you.
Yeah. So
especially if you have to raise your daughter, you want her to be around a good environment.
Right.
You want her to see you design website rather than go at night in a club or something like that.
Right. I never worked as a stripper or anything, but somehow.
But that was your decision to do a web designer.
No, actually, I grew up in Japan.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I was almost always drawing and then tried to become a cartoonist, comic artist.
Interesting.
Right.
So you studied a little bit of design, or you just learned all by yourself?
Right. So what happened was I was drawing and I realized the comic artists they can't make their living by just doing that.
So what
Only
do
like
they
a few
do?
people
So
can.
they make design of websites
Right. So then I realized the graphic designers
is a solution.
yeah. So at least
Everybody needs a website.
exactly.
Everybody needs a website.
So yeah, I went to high school
Yeah.
where graphic design was taught, and subsequently I went to a kind of a junior college and learned graphic design, and then came to New York, New York City, and attended FIT and Pratt Institute, School of Visual Arts or something like that, and learned new media and web design.
Oh, nice.
And then
So
came to San
United
Francisco
States, yeah.
and tried to complete my BFA, Bachelor's in Fine Art. I
Yeah.
only had a 2-year college degree around the time. And then I went to talk to Academy of Art.
You went there?
Yes.
Me
Then
too.
Oh, you did? And then they said, well, if you have
2 years.
No, if you have your career in marketing and design, you don't need a degree.
You just take a few classes.
So that's why I went to film school at
Oh.
Academy of Art.
Oh.
So where
You learned film.
I learned film, and then after that I went to masters in new web design and new media.
Oh.
Yeah.
In where? In San Francisco State?
No, at Academy of Art. As
Oh,
well.
you did the master.
Yeah.
So after you got your master, you decided now it's time to get some clients, and you started marketing yourself.
Right. The funny thing is, whole time I had a full-time job as a designer.
Oh, you already did.
Right. So I went to a junior college in Osaka, Japan,
Yeah.
and the instructor of the school hired me as a paid intern.
Ah.
And the funny thing is, I was in Japan. My client was, well, actually a Japanese, like Panasonic or Sharp or something like the Sanyo. Or, but I was working in a export advertisement, which means I was doing designing everything in English or European languages, or
So you knew English and Japanese already.
Not necessarily. I only knew Japanese.
Oh.
So that's why I went to New York and to learn English better
Okay.
than
So now
I
you
did.
do everything in English?
Right. The funny thing is, after I came to New York,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't work for Japanese, but always for Americans.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Strange.
So now all your clients are mostly Americans?
Right.
And you do everything in English?
Yes.
Do you find some clients in Japantown? There's 32,000 Japanese there.
Right, actually, you're right. I actually belong to a Buddhist organization, and
Over there?
right, not over there, but nearby here.
Okay.
And one of the members
Yeah.
owns the karaoke bar
really?
in Japan,
Right.
in Japantown.
Japantown.
And so I make their somehow website, but then
Yeah.
I did really badly. I should redo it, but since she said it was okay.
So you leave it alone.
But then it's also in English. I didn't do it in Japanese. Well, okay.
So you did it in 2 languages.
The only time I worked in English and Japanese language was for this Buddhist organization. They needed to create some sort of a CMS tool for them to upload something. And I did the bilingual web development. I hired some people on the East Coast, more specifically in Washington D.C. And around the time, web development was really costly. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, nowadays everybody can use this open source frameworks. They are quite cheaper than the ones we were using. Mostly like, yeah, one license could be cost you like over $20,000 or something like that. But yeah, I did that, but my clients are mostly Americans.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So you don't try to seek only the Japanese market. Yeah, you don't go to Japan now and say, do you want, knock on doors and say, do you want a website? You don't do that.
I should.
Okay, but that's not what you do.
I don't.
Okay. So you just go in cyber and find clients all over the place.
Yeah, mostly in New Jersey and Los Angeles.
Okay, so
Yes.
you look at their website, say, hey, your website needs a little bit of an uplift, you know, let me do it for you. Or, hey, I looked at your website and needs, you know, it needs some renovation, and you offer them a new version.
Right. Usually they come to me through like word of mouth.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
already well known?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
But sometimes.
Sometimes. So what happened was I have a kind of a very unique kind of skill set.
Oh, good.
Such
What's
as-
unique about you? That was the purpose of my interview.
Oh, okay. I understand the technologies
Okay.
as well as businesses, and then also creative side.
Okay.
So a lot of people can do only like one, like business
Or
the
one or
technology
the other.
designer, design.
You can do all three.
Right. So then I can be a consultant to the business where they fail
Okay.
to hire a light kind of business, I mean a company to do their website.
Okay. Sounds
And
good.
also I can design with data.
Mhm. With their data?
With data. Right now, I work for a healthcare company for their data platform.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So you
prob-
gotta store data from the clients.
Right, you can say that. But it's more like I can understand how data works.
Okay. So it's a health, like a health insurance company, or it's different kind of health?
Well, they do a lot of different kind of data,
Okay.
but the one I'm working on is it's called a clinical healthcare data. In
Okay.
other words, it's like EMR, electronic medical record.
Okay. So that's good. That's good. So you understand how to store thousands and thousands of customers on that website. The data of thousands of people in a separate file or separate server. Is that what you do?
Right. Not necessarily though. The data comes from
The client.
different sources, not only one client.
Oh.
Right. Like for instance, if you have your like for instance, any businesses they usually use Salesforce
Right.
to store
Right.
their clients' information, right?
You can do that. Yeah, but some people use other ways. I don't know. There must be, data centers.
Right, but then data center has, in other words, like for instance, this healthcare company,
Yeah.
they get different data from, like for instance, Salesforce.
Okay,
or
and
health
they
system,
import it.
integrate into one data,
Okay.
which is a very very difficult things to do.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
But now there's many companies, and you can, let's say you have, I don't know, Infusionsoft. You can import the data into their data storing, name, address, phone number.
Right.
Like you have Mailchimp and you have Weber.
Right.
Something like that, but there's so many of them, and there's also networks, whatever.
Right.
But all these companies, all they do is store data.
Right. So what happened was, like for instance, Mailchimps.
Oh, vertical.
Right.
There's a company called Vertical something, and
Right.
you store your contacts there.
Right. So MailChimp, for instance,
Yeah.
let's say,
Yeah.
they have different terminologies from constant contact, for
Exactly.
instance.
A constant contact is another one.
Right?
Mm.
So when they call data of first name,
Yeah.
they may say first, as
Oh.
opposed to constant contact would say surname, or I mean
Okay.
last name
First
instead
and
of
last
last
name,
name,
and then phone
surname,
number
or,
and email.
middle name as a M instead of middle name. So
Okay.
in order for us to integrate every data from different sources,
Yeah.
it would be a problem.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you can import huge files into your data storage company. You can import files.
That is one problem, right?
Yeah.
To solve, but at the same time you need to actually distribute your data to the client. That's another problem.
They hire
Because,
you to do that?
yeah, they hire me to, usually they hire me to design, the front end UI.
And somebody else do the back end?
Yeah, of course. I don't do front end coding, but front end solutions.
Oh.
Yes.
Front end solution is your cup of tea, and then somebody else does the back end.
Right. Although I can do back end, I understand how it works.
Mm. Okay, so if you need the help of someone who is an expert engineer in back end, you can hire him temporarily to help you if you don't know everything. You work with a team, or just everything you try to do. You got to work with someone who understands their specialty, right?
Right. Right. So, for the company I work,
Yeah.
right. So they are huge, like
Oh.
Fortune 5,
Right.
and they need a lot of more people to do their data platform and app development.
Mm-hmm.
But for just small businesses, I can actually do a back end and front end and design.
Mm-hmm.
But I hire some people as well. Yeah.
If you have too much work.
Like I said, I'm not really a good coder. I need to hire some coder to do
To help you.
specific, tasks.
Okay, so the difference between using a template and hiring you is that you can do a better design specifically for the need of the customer, correct?
Right. So
you don't have to use a template. Let's say you're a photographer or filmmaker, you can use a template, right?
Right.
But on the other hand, if a client wants something super specific, then you are the one who is the specialist for that.
Yes.
That's the difference between using a template rather than or using a designer.
Right. So the template works for the most part, like for your portfolio or your business.
Yeah, easy stuff. Yeah.
But what I designed for isn't actually somehow like existing business model. In other words, for instance, let's say this. Like for instance, a U.S. bank, I used to be working for them as well, and they need to have certain functionalities for, for instance, ATM.
Okay.
And transferring money from checking account to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't have the template for that.
Oh yeah, you need a designer.
Right. Exactly.
So they hire you to do that.
Right.
Oh, and then if you need a coder, you hire him.
Right. So when we spec some functionalities in, we call it wireframes.
Mm-hmm.
We will then talk to some developers and get a quote of how much they would cost. Right. And then we will then
work together.
Right. So edit some part to make the budget more right.
Okay. And then, what is your favorite website most recent modern website that you like?
More than
Besides Amazon. Amazon
okay.
is state of the art. But besides Amazon, that's super fast and super well designed. Is there a website that you like?
Right. So yeah, Ideo is
Ideo?
Ideo is a digital agency.
Okay.
Their website is quite interesting. They're almost always inventing something new.
Oh, so you get a few ideas from there?
They're actually even teaching how to do design.
How to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, because I just signed up on Udemy. I signed up for marketing and social media class. It's only like $10, but they give you a full course on how to understand the digital design, marketing, social media. It's a full course, but Udemy is very affordable. You can learn all that online if you have the time to do it. Yeah, so I know social media because I put my show on social media, but on the other hand, I want to understand more. I want to see what's available out there.
Oh, right. So what we are talking about here is more like a psychology instead of just the visual design.
Right. So what to do with your content now that you have it online? You got to do something with it. You got to outsource. You got to spread it all over the place. If you want exposure. If you don't want exposure, you keep a low profile. But if you do want exposure, you have to do something. SEO and all that. Do you do some of the marketing for your clients?
Right.
You do?
I do. Well, I used to be doing more advertising and marketing than product development.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do that after you're done with the website.
Right.
It's an added feature you can offer to your client.
I could.
Yeah.
But
or you can outsource it.
Right, but then marketing, advertising, and so everything had become more. How do you say it? Best depending on optimization of by using analytics data. So in other words, you don't actually just create something like whoa, this is beautiful, and then offer it to the client. No, we don't do that. We create something based on what worked.
That makes sense.
More importantly, what we are trying to do nowadays is using machine learning.
Okay.
And then we will see who is going to be buying, who is going to come to the site and then click on this,
What motivates the buyer?
It's not the motivation.
What makes the buyer click on buy now?
No, it's a data.
It's not even that.
No, it's not even that. It's
What
a data. We calculate based on their many different things, and then come up with a prediction of maybe
behavior.
Right. Behavioral action that they invoke usually.
Yeah, I need that because on my website it says sponsor French American TV, but nobody clicks on it. So I need to do a strategy to motivate people to say yes, I want to sponsor that show. So, but I didn't come up with a strategy yet. But if you can come up with a strategy so that people do click on it to sponsor, then I will get more sponsors, right?
Right. So that button and the color and the illustration or the layout.
Yeah, is important.
Like I said, I don't design based on what I think.
Okay.
I design based on the data.
Based
on what worked.
So you look at other websites where it worked and you do it on us?
There's already a data.
Oh, there is one.
Yes.
There's one to get sponsors?
No, no. Ooh, okay. The trends can change very quickly based on demographic. I mean, the populations and cultures, of course.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, in this country, it used to be we design everything for. I can't be so blunt, but somehow like white, guy, over like 40 years old.
Okay. Based on the consumer.
Exactly.
Based on the consumer.
Right. Advertisement was almost always channeled into those.
But if you are international, then you have to think about everybody.
Right. So, but then, that demography had shifted.
Exactly.
Right, nowadays.
Now the white are minority in San Francisco.
Exactly.
So we have to think about 1/3 Asian, there's 1/3 Hispanic, and then there is all the other groups. We have to think about these people. It has to be designed for them too.
So that's why I said we design based on the research.
Based on the demographics.
The research on their behavior.
Yes.
Not much what they are, or less race or age, but more like a behavior.
Yeah, but San Francisco is unique because it's so diversified. But then if you design for something nationwide, it's a different ball game too, because you have some regions that are very diversified, like New York and other region in the East Coast, and then the West Coast is also very diversified, like LA, San Francisco, and then you have other states, the center state, that are not as diversified. But you want to reach everybody.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so tell me, tell me.
So that is an illusion we have. We need to, make this, appeal to the mass, audience.
Okay.
But then when you talk about mass audience, who are we talking about?
Americans.
Americans, right?
Yeah.
But somehow, what kind of Americans are we talking about?
We're talking about, I don't know, most of them are between 15 and 50 years old, maybe.
So I was reading some research paper while I was at this bank.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say maybe their names
The name,
so much.
okay.
So then they were talking about, the banks can't make money out of in between. They only make money out of like rich or poor.
Oh, okay.
So that's
the people you want to reach.
Well, since Trump had different agendas, maybe we have more middle class appearing, but
you want to reach everybody.
But like last year, we didn't have too many middle class people.
Oh, okay. Most, or the poor or the rich.
Oh, poor or rich.
I agree with you. Because there's a disparity of the very rich, the very poor. Is that what you're saying?
So you can do business for poor or rich.
I agree with you on that one, because things have changed. Even when they do the campaign websites, you can tell they want to attract even the little people with the just $3 donation, whatever they can afford. Now, so in the old days it was minimum 100 kind of. But now they know people are poor, so they say, oh, okay, you can even contribute $1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So things have changed, yes.
Right.
So anyway, so you keep up with the trends like that too, like socioeconomic differences, and you design the website for that.
Right. So design is not anything like, you need to create something beautiful. It's more like what
functional.
What make people use it based on their psyche or psychology.
Yeah. Sometimes people tell me my show is a little bit higher level. I cannot talk to people who don't understand what I'm talking about. I have to be like get down a little bit so that everybody understands what I'm talking about.
That is so true. So that's why Trump is maybe successful. He only
He
has
talks
like
to the
5
masses.
vocabularies.
Yes,
right? Vocabularies.
He
like,
attracts the masses.
you're a great, great, great person. Oh, you're bad, bad, bad person, or something like that. He only
Make
says,
American great again.
Yeah. So that's what he only says.
He attracts the masses.
Yeah.
Talk to their level.
Talk to But then when I was in film school,
Yeah.
that's what they're saying. Don't use too many vocabularies.
Yeah. Use the ninth graders.
I think he's a very good marketer.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He knows. Let's make America great again.
Anyway.
So anyway, that's probably why he attracts the masses. So same with websites. So if I want to attract a lot of people, I have to be very simple.
Yes.
And I have to also work on the traffic.
Right.
And I have to make it all appealing to
Right.
the very rich and the very poor.
Right. So yeah, you make a design of your website for the user
Yeah.
who has some motivation to come to your site.
And watch.
But the tricky thing is you don't provide 100% of what they want on their website.
Okay. So you provide what they want and also what other people want.
No, you have your business agenda, right?
Right.
Your agenda may be different from the motivation of the user,
Ah,
right?
got it.
Yeah.
I have to come halfway.
No. 2080.
2080?
Yes.
Okay. So I have to look at what they want.
20%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sounds. I have to work on that then. I have to work on that.
Yeah.
Make sure that I'm providing what they want. I know that people want to learn languages. So when I do French American TV, I want them to listen so that they can learn the language. For All About Your Profession is maybe for people looking to see everything they need to know about a profession before they decide to do that profession. Or if they want to learn more about a certain profession, then they can listen and they see what other people are doing in that profession. So yeah, I have to provide that information if they want. I want them to come and watch it. Like I can put the show on career.com or one of those ladder.com where people look for jobs and they want to see what a profession is about, kind of thing. So I need to do like put a link from Ladder to me or from career website to my website, something like that. I know I have to work on that, but I just don't do it because you need a certain skill to work on those things. To ask companies to partner with you, to get people to come to your website and all that. So, and also you specialize mostly in business website, I assume, or do you do also art websites, or do you have a specialty?
Yes. My specialty is in finance. And healthcare.
Healthcare. So that's
as well as video backend.
Okay. So you have two industry, health industry and finance industry.
And computer games.
And computer games.
Video games.
So that's you can design website for these three industries.
Somewhat, yes.
Somewhat. With the help of other people.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the most fun part about your job? I mean, is it fun to do what you do? You like it?
Okay. Yeah. Well,
is it a fun job or is it a hard job?
It's really hard.
It is hard.
It is very hard.
Because you have to learn the new things.
Right. So I don't recommend my daughter to become, to
be a web designer. What do you want her to be?
I would say you just
a photographer.
No, you just do coding.
Easier.
No, it's not easy. But somehow, when you start coding when you're young,
It's
so you're going to
better
be better maybe.
when you're
And then,
older.
yeah, so you get a computer science degree
Yeah.
and then move on to get an MBA. So
Then you can run a business.
yeah,
Some people learn website architecture. They learn how to build the website kind of thing for huge website.
right. So I learned, yeah, human-computer interaction design
Oh, okay.
as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So based on all that training you had, you can offer all these skills to your customers.
Right. What was I saying? Oh, the fun part of this job. It's kind of fun in a way, but somehow it's hard. I wouldn't choose my profession if I had a choice. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So what would you rather do if you can change, if you can go back 20 years? What would you do?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I will maybe have a computer science degree.
You would prefer that?
An MBA.
You would prefer that? You don't mind staying in front of a computer all day?
Yes. Well, you know, computer science degree with an MBA.
You work a
know,
lot with machines, no?
No, you can actually become a executive somewhere.
Oh, you could?
Yeah, you could.
Okay. Okay, so, or you can have a good idea and become a CEO.
Right, something like that. But somehow that skill set could be more transferable than doing just design.
Okay.
You know, each time you lose your job, you have to reinvent your kind of skills.
Okay.
When you're a designer.
I see. I see. So your job, I mean, since you have been there 20 years, is it too late to change? Yeah, I guess it is.
Right, so I never really tried so hard, but at one point, when I was in New York, I did something else. Right after I got this green card, previously I was working for a Japanese company another time.
Okay, what did you do?
I was an advertising manager.
So you sold advertising?
I was, yeah. And then I thought maybe if I need to stay in the States, I can't just keep on working for Japanese and maybe just shift my career into more like mainstream. Okay. But then in order for me to do so, I need to improve my English.
So that's what you did?
So then I took a job at a Broadway ticket sales place. It's called Telecharge, and I was on this phone for 8 hours.
Selling tickets?
Selling tickets. At the same time, I was typing their names and addresses. Hi, this is Reiko Telecharge. What show would you like to see? So I did that and then realized, oh my gosh, doing design is so much easier for me to, you know, live my life. So I never really.
Plus, you can do it from home.
Right, exactly.
You can work from home and take care of your daughter.
I could, but I usually go to office.
Oh, so that there is no distraction.
Yeah, so they usually have like better
work
lighting
environment,
or the monitors or air conditioning, air circulation.
And then you pick her up after school.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I like to go downtown every day. I go One Market Street or Embarcadero. I like to go outside too. I don't like to stay in all the time.
Yeah.
So I just go out, meet people, network, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's cool. It's a cool job that you have. So I assume you do your own marketing. You call companies and offer your services. You do your own outreach.
Right. I go to a lot of different events.
Okay, and you say, "Hey, I'm a web designer."
Yes, okay. But at one point I was asked to be a panel of some event talking about how to make the Japanese companies break into Silicon Valley businesses.
Oh.
Sort of, yeah.
So they hired you?
No, they asked, this organization had an event, asked me to be part of the panel.
Okay.
Panel discussion.
Okay.
And I mentioned this at the event. What happened was okay, so Japan has a good technologies or innovative machineries or anything they have. But when it comes down to breaking into the American market, they usually fail. Even big old company can fail. It's because user experience design is different. Customer experience here is different from Japan.
Okay. So you can just discuss it.
Right.
Consult.
So that probably you can use for your business as well. French American, maybe customer experience here is maybe different from French American.
Of course, yeah, we have a different culture.
Right.
So yeah, so it's good that you're bilingual. If you're Japanese American, so you can do web design in both, right? And you can do bilingual websites too.
I could. I should. I'm thinking.
If a Japanese company wants to reach the American market, you say, "Hey, hello, do you want to translate your website to English, and I'll do it too."
Right. Just translating is
not your cup of tea. No, okay.
Well, I could. I could, but the question is, just translating what they have won't work.
Because it's a different kind of crowd.
Right. So last year, sometime like around November, some people introduced me to a business in Tokyo, and I was talking to them to help them AdWords, which is a Google advertisement platform. Have you heard of AdWords? In other words, what this AdWords would make people do is I don't know how. Well, okay, so the client of my friend who was looking for someone to help them to improve their AdWords performance. So this AdWords make them buy some keywords from Google and then bring the traffic onto their landing page or a microsite to convert the business lead into actual business. Does it make sense?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you want to transfer the information from one country to the other, kind of thing.
Right. So what happened was this company in Tokyo, this owner of the business, they were actually like 50 people company, kind of a real business.
Okay.
And the owner of the business is a Japanese guy, but can speak English fluently, and their staff members are all spoke some English fluently, not necessarily American English. But what happened was when I look up at their advertisement copy, none of what they had made any sense.
Okay.
In English.
Okay.
In American English.
Okay. So you tried to help them?
I tried, but I don't think they needed to make it somehow like, I don't know what they do.
Okay, so it might not be in their agenda.
No, yeah, exactly. Their agenda is different from making things
Understandable.
more properly written or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, just translating into different language into English won't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like even though it's a hard job, you still do it since you have done it for 20 years. You must have something you like in it. Or else you would have stopped after 6 months, right?
Right. I mean, because this is a very lucrative job.
It is?
Yes. Just the graphic design won't give you like enough money to pay even like your breakfast. But if you do it really good,
then it becomes good.
very good,
So, so you have agent or for negotiating rates, or you do yourself?
Right. I mean, I can negotiate. I can write business plans. I can write.
Now you can tell the clients how much he should pay for your services.
Sure. Yes.
It's on your website?
I don't
No,
do that.
they have to contact you and you give them an estimate.
Right. Right. So usually you have like SOW and the marketing plans and development plans.
So you offer them a plan,
Right. Timelines.
a solution.
Right. Timelines and how much you need
It's
to pay.
going to cost you.
Right.
Okay, well maybe, yeah. My daughter does dance, and she forgot to renew her domain name. So now she used to have Angie-Per Production, and now she needs to start from scratch because she doesn't know where the website went. So maybe I'll have her call you and see if you can work with her or something. But it's
That would
only
be great.
for a little dance thing. But anyway, I just thought about it. But anyway, you can. Did you take a look at my website? As it is WordPress. You saw video. It's like a blog. My website is like a blog.
Oh.
Because I put one show after the other, after the other, after the other.
French-American.tv.
That's my bilingual show. And then all about her profession. It's about the same thing, but in
Okay.
English only.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
That's why I was writing down on.
Yeah,
the
because you don't
URL
speak
on
French,
it.
then we did allaboutyourprofessions.com.
Okay.
And that's in English only. That's
Okay.
why I invented that new show for people who don't speak French.
Oh, okay.
All right, so looks like you explained your profession very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank
you
you.
so much. You've been very good and cooperative. I appreciate you coming in person
Well,
here.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
inviting me over.
And then I will send you the file, of course, and you can post it if you want on your YouTube.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
very much.